welcome to Football New South Wales Extra Time podcast. My name is Gareth Long. We are lunchtime of day one at the Football New South Wales Coaching Conference. A bit drizzly, but we're having a great time, and I am really honoured to be joined by Silvia Piccini. Silvia is the assistant coach of the Italian under-17s women's and a member of the Covicino Coaching School. Yes, nailed it, I reckon. Silvia, we've got a challenge. We've got 20 minutes to talk about a fascinating topic. We're going to talk about 3 key tips for coaching Generation Z and Generation Alpha players. So welcome.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone.
Silvia, I suppose the first question is an obvious one, but can you explain who are Generation Z and who are Generation Alpha?
Yes, of course, I try. All the player that we are training now are born in this generation, and so it's not about the gender, but is about knowing their strong point. And so it's just about speaking the cultural and the social context in which they was born.
Okay, so just for the so I don't have to go googling it. What year are the Generation Z and what year Generation Alpha?
Yeah, it's like the generation from 96 to 2010, and the alpha is 2011 2020.
Brilliant. So I reckon most of the coaches listening are probably coaching Generation Z or Generation Alpha. So this is going to be a fascinating talk. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And what I love about this topic is we're really just considering who our players are. So let's dive into that then. So what are some of the characteristics of Generation Z or Generation Alpha that are important for coaches to know about?
Yeah, I think that I say before. So actually, they was born in a time where technology are so important, and so for this, I think that picture and video it will like a strong point. But also for this, that probably they have like less attention. It's better do things that not listening. Of course, listening is important, but be practical is the important things. And so actually, football is all about problem solving. And so during probably the training session, maintain this topic. So play football, don't like invent, inventare. Yeah, invent
Yeah.
stranger things.
Yeah, look, lovely. And I think we'll probably look at some of those in more detail. And I think what I like about the way that you said it there is that sometimes I think, and myself included, might think coaching young players, we look at the problems for us as coaches, whereas I think we can probably look at their characteristics as advantages to coaches. Would you agree?
Yeah, of course. So we have to stay focused about what they can do. Okay, not it's probably always it's much easier to complain about what it doesn't work in a generation, and always our generation was the best. So we are always best than the other. I think that probably it's just look outside from ourselves and just leave our ego and try to understand better their strong point.
Okay. Well, you mentioned sort of visual and pictures and video, and I guess we assume that young people are good with technology. I think
Yeah.
the alphas are called like the streamers generation. So, with that in mind, how can coaches take advantage of their preference for visuals, for technology, etc.?
Mm, when you like planning the session or the week or the month. Okay, you have to do like schedule, try to do schedule every goals, and in these goals there are also like you can use technology with video, and uh, to like pick the attention of the player. Also, I don't know, to be more impact with impact. Also, before the training session, just have a look to the what goal are the training session, or just send by WhatsApp, uh, um, or so it's not actually about technology, because probably I speak for Italy. There are some contexts in the amateur football that you can also just like stick a paper on the
Mm.
wall and just write down some keywords. It's just a visual things that we always use a lot of word to say something. Okay, of course, video are more it's like also more emotional, and they used to use the telephone, and so just in 5 seconds they watch what you gonna do.
Yeah. So can you just give us one example, or you can go more than one example if you want, Sylvia, but an example of how that looks like in your environment with the under 17s women's? How do you use visuals and emotional imagery and video, etc.?
Usually we use a lot before the session, or we use actually a lot for individual improvement. Above all, girls ask to rewatch themselves, and so because they want to improve, and so for individual stuff we use a lot of video, but also before starting training, we like choose a main goal of the session, and sometimes we use top club like an action like 5 seconds, or we use the same video of the category to explain to explain them the challenge of the day.
Nice.
And of course the pitch, so uh, we don't use actually the post training session video, so not immediately, maybe in the day after.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Sylvia. I think we're ready to lock in tip one for coaching Generation Z, Generation Alpha players. And I think tip one might be show more than tell, and use visual stimulus to support your players. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
perfect. Good job.
Brilliant. Thank you. No, good job, you. All right. Let's now, of course, I think that's a really good message that we should vary the way that we communicate, and we should use visuals more with our younger players. But we are going to have to use verbal communication and non-verbal communication. What can we learn about how we communicate and interact with our players when we need to communicate in those ways?
Yeah. So in Club Italia, we believe a lot of the method is like relational. Okay, and so make connection um, with people is the most important things, um, because so if you know me better, probably you will listen me better, and so also for my personal experience, and probably for the person that I am, I like you consider not, yes, of course, the generation, but you are a person. Okay, you are a person and a player. So about the communication, of course, probably they need like as a video, it's not always like this. Okay, but the feedback there are more like quick and smart, and of course communication. It took like less word to make impact.
Okay.
Okay. Also, when we so as a coach, probably we like use a lot of word to explain something, but just use in the neuro linguistic model like anchor. Anchor is like key point. Just one word, and you think it's like a brain. If I say milk, you think to the white thing. I don't know. Just use keyword also in the on the pitch.
So I think I've got two things from that, and check I'm right. One is the importance of connecting with the younger players on a personal level, on a relationship level, I guess to connect with them more than football.
Yeah.
And the second one is when we're communicating to keep it short, sharp, and impactful, and the use of keywords is a good way of doing that.
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay,
The
lovely.
resume is perfect.
All right,
So
good.
easy.
And what about non-verbal communication?
Mm, sometimes this is a training for us because we communicate it actually more than verbal. And if someone has like empathy or focus about your body language, you are dead. If you do something wrong, um, it's for this that I say be careful about your body language when you are on the pitch or when you are everywhere, where with the especially with the girls. Um, and the other things that I like, and I also stole from my colleague Amy, sometimes during the training, you can use like your body and the body of the player to move them instead speak a lot.
So the visual
Okay.
doesn't have to be pictures; it can be
Yeah,
demonstrations
yeah, yeah.
and moving people. Yeah, good. And do you? How do you, as a coach, almost evaluate your communication? Like, how can you know whether your communication is being effective, or have you spent time analysing your coaching sessions, your match day behaviour, to try to evaluate your own communication?
Okay, I used to. When I was in Juventus a lot, actually, was like a training for us. Was so sometimes stressful because it's not. Sometimes you don't want watch you rewatch you because you know that you. Also, for me, I'm the first judge of
Yes,
myself,
of course.
and so I think that the most effective communication is the first things is when you are you have created a relation, and probably you know that they are listening you, and so it's like for resume will trust. Okay. And the second things you can see probably on the eyes is like actually this is my ambition. If they have like sparkling eyes, you have done a good job. Probably not for every 20 players. And in the coaching methodology, and so like learning of myself, of course, we did a lot of training video analysis also for us.
Yeah, it's really not.
Actually, national team no, because we don't have any time also to train. But I have to.
Does that make the need to build those relationships at a national team level even more important?
It is actually it is only create relation with the girls, but also with the staff, with because isn't then you are really a family, and in a few days you have create like a lot of synergy and respect all the moment of the other people, because we say that we when we go away, you are living in a like in a bubble, but your reality go inside this bubble, so you have to respect everyone I don't know if it makes sense.
It,
So is an example. Everyone has their habits. I don't know. I make breakfast at 10:30, 7:30. Sorry, 10:30.
I'm half past
No,
10.
too late. It's lunch for you, 10:30. Okay. But maybe someone just waking at 8:30 and don't make breakfast. So as a team, you can um, imporre, have two straight hours to follow. So try to be human. It's the goal.
It's lovely, Silvia. When I asked the question, I expected you to say that, an elite level coach like you has analysed your coaching and you've really, delved into the way that you communicate. And that I expected that, but I loved your answer about actually taking time to see the response of your communication, reminding us that it's a two-way process, that we don't just deliver communication, but it's received, and trying to evaluate how it's received. Really nice. So I think we got tip 2 locked in for
Yeah.
how we're going to coach Generation Z and Generation Alpha players. And I'm going to give it broad because you gave so much detail. I'm just going to say tip 2 is really consider your communication. There's a lot more detail than
Yeah,
that, but
because inside the communication there is really a word.
yes, exactly. Yeah, no, that was
And
that was brilliant. So, tip 2 is a very general one, but I think it covered a lot there. All right, okay. So let's actually get into, I suppose, the act of coaching. And I know coaching is more than training sessions and coaching sessions, but I might start with that and see where we go. So, um, how does coaching look different when coaching Generation Z or Generation A? Or I suppose another way of it might be, how should coaching look different, coaching these generations of players to how we used to coach maybe 20 years ago?
okay, so there are 2 points that I wanna touch. It's actually the reality that, of course, in Italy, probably because here in Australia, I think that is different. You do a lot of sport here.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't do any sport. Any sport. I speak about school. Okay, and there are just 2 hours of physical education, and unfortunately, the children, but also the girls, they don't have time that we actually have. Okay, so they can't practice on the ground for with freedom. I think that is a common items. Okay, but in Italy is it's really happen, and so they come um, to the pitch also 3 4 times. Okay,
Hmm.
and I think that this generation need uh, problem solving modality.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as everyone know, football is the one of the main sport that challenge you in this. There are a lot of so is for this that we call sport complexity. So many people that one people as well is represent a word that play with other teammate against the other opponent. So with the coach, with the parents, but in the training methodology, so respect this reality. I think that is the strong point. Um
So are Generation Z, Generation Alpha players, are they particularly good problem solvers?
I think so.
So how can the coach take advantage of that? What would a coaching session look like that was really drawing on their abilities of problem solving?
Because I was speaking about the other generation. We were more like executor, okay, and they probably get boring about execute something. Is for this that if I have a challenge to solve a problem to solve, is like more competitive, and so I think that they like as well competitive. Also, if probably are very sensible generation, not so secure.
Yeah, sensitive.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
So
so
does that mean that when you're doing the problem solving, you'll quite often have them in groups solving the problems, the teams?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think also for me, but for the society where we live, probably we have to do better in the team building process, and why the sport is the main teacher of this. So the game is the main teacher, because if not, the answer is go and play tennis.
Yes,
No.
yes. It's lovely because I guess there are lots of answers as well. And I guess the coach learns what the players know and what the players can do.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, I'm going to lock in tip 3, Sylvia. I'm going to say tip 3 is that for coaching Generation Z, Generation Alpha players, coaches should create challenges that require problem solving. You happy with that?
Yeah, it's
All
perfect.
right. Well, look, I'm gonna summarize our 3 tips, Sylvia,
Yes.
but you are gonna correct me if I've not articulated it in the correct way. So, tip number one was um, tip number one was show more than tell. Creatively use imagery, videos to get across the message that you want the players to learn, and you gave us some great examples of doing that. Tip number 2 was consider your communication, build relationships, um, communicate quickly and impactfully. And then tip number 3 was create challenges that require our players to work together to solve football related problems.
Super.
Excellent. Sylvia, it's been a pleasure.
Eccellente.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Grazie a te.